Thanks again for joining me for Katy's Corner. I'm here with Ed. Ed, good to see you. We did this.
Hello, everyone.
We did
Thanks
this
for
a
having
few
me
years
again,
ago.
Katy.
Yeah, of course. We did this a few years ago. I can't even remember when it was, 2-3 years ago. And we thought we'd do this again. There's several milestones.
We were in the office. We were in the office back then. Yes.
Yeah.
In San Jose.
That's right. That's right. We have several milestones coming up, and I wanted to chat with you about that. So April is going to be your 6th anniversary as the CEO, not as you had been chairman for several years.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
So what are you reflecting on that? Kind of what is top of mind for you after, 6 years? It's a long time.
Well, it is a long time. And, you think about everything that we've accomplished over the last 6 years, it's pretty amazing. And I'm really excited right now because I feel like this is fundamentally an inflection point with where we are. And if you think back, Katy, we were trying to build scale and we did that through a lot of acquisitions. And then we had to invest a lot in consolidating, right? The systems, the data, and developing our product roadmap, aligning our field, getting all the different resources together, bringing cultures together. I mean, that was a lot of heavy lifting. And then as we acquired Aerohive and then, the pivot to cloud, now we're in a position and, you'll hear everyone talking about it. Now we're investing in innovation and organic growth. And now more than ever, Extreme in the marketplace, people want to hear, like, what does Extreme have to say? Like they have a different, and we literally can be bold. We can pound our chests and say, hey, we have differentiation. We are innovative. You need to come and, enterprise customers at all. And you've got to check out our solutions and been in this position a long time. So it's really fun to be pivoting. We have visibility to double-digit growth. And now as a company, as we're investing in growth and innovation, then with growth, we can invest even more. And so it's kind of like a flywheel effect where we can invest more and more. And that's exciting. So that's, as we turn the corner, we're coming up on the end of my 6th year. I'm really excited about what we're going to be able to do in the future as now a company.
That's great. And right on the heels of your 6th year anniversary, right after that is the 25th anniversary of the company. And so I think you have been, between the years that you had been chairman and now CEO, you've seen more than half of the life of the company. And there are board members who've been around for a long time. What is top of mind? What is top of mind for you and the board after 25 years?
I mean, the board is excited. And I want all the employees of Extreme to know that we have a very experienced, qualified board of directors who are very supportive of what we're doing. They ask us a lot of questions. They want to make sure that they understand kind of what it is that we're doing. And then they want to be supportive in this pivot to growth and innovation. And so they're excited. And top of mind for the board is, hey, how do we support the team? How should we be investing maybe to accelerate growth? How do we take Extreme now from over $1 billion to $2 billion? How do we forward if we look at the key development initiatives from an R&D perspective? Can we accelerate any of those with investment, for example? So the board's is in a really good place. They're very supportive of the team that we put in place. They all get involved in different ways, but I would just say there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement and support from our board, with this pivot and with where we're going.
That's great. So, Ed, the other milestone I wanted to talk about. So a team member forwarded an email that I had sent to the San Jose office on March 6th of 2020. So a little over a year ago, announcing that we were shutting down the San Jose office for 2 weeks because of COVID. And then that started a whole series of emails.
It's a long 2 weeks, Katy.
Yeah.
just a little off.
Yeah, we were off. So it's been more than a year that we're working from home. and it's worked. And we went through a whole cycle and we're kind of back and strong and better than before. What is your thought about returning to office and also working from home? What are your thoughts about that?
So, yeah, like you pointed out, a 2-week closure. I mean, no one saw this coming, and everyone underestimated the magnitude of COVID. Okay, but
Yeah.
here's what we learned. We learned that, first of all, we have amazing employees who are very resilient, um, and they've been able, and we've been able collectively as a company to pull through this and to
Mhm.
position Extreme in a way that we've never been in a stronger position. I mean, we're getting ready to start announcing record quarters, 25-year
Right.
record
Right.
quarters, which shows the resilience of this team. Um, what I do think has worked is, I think people have collaborated well. Fortunately, we have the collaboration suite that we do, communicating on Zoom, our
Mhm.
Teams platforms, etc. I can travel around the world in a day, and then do it again tomorrow and do it again the next day. I couldn't do that
Awesome.
before, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of efficiency that this brings. So in some ways, we can communicate better. Think about all the events we're running. We have unprecedented attendance. It's
Yeah.
easier for people to attend our events. So there's a lot of things that have worked out really well for us. And then, as you know, we're going to be a lot more flexible in giving all of our employees worldwide the flexibility to work more from home. And I think our offices are going to be more collaborative workspaces,
Yeah.
maybe office spaces for meetings, places to get together, as opposed to a place to commute to and sit in a cube all day and then commute home. So I think that we're going to be able to be more flexible, which I think is going to benefit everyone. But people miss the camaraderie. You know, we definitely want to augment. There's something that, being able to, from a partner and then a customer perspective, there's absolutely something to be said for having that physical connection and that interaction that I think, yeah, I think everybody is missing that to some degree. And I know you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. The COVID team is doing a great job. And I think hopefully everyone will fill in the responses. We'll get the collective feedback just to
Yeah.
understand how everyone is thinking about it. And then we're going to put together a plan. The vaccinations are coming, they're increasing. So we're going
Yeah.
to have the possibility to start going back into the office.
Yeah. And the leadership's been great. We've met with so many of the leaders, VPs, almost everybody one-on-one, and there's a lot
Yeah.
more to come on this. So I know we'll talk about it again in the
Yeah.
coming months. So here's another one. Last year, you added inclusion to our core values. And that is such a part of our culture, or the fabric of our culture right now. Can you talk a little bit about that and just talk about our culture a little bit? Because there might be people outside the company watching who'd want to hear from you on this.
Well, I mean, culture is so important for us because ultimately it defines who we are, and then it's the behaviors, it's our behaviors as a company that ultimately define our culture, right, when you think about it. So um, it's very important for us on all of our values when we think about being candid, being real, and being transparent. Okay, these things build trust, whether or not it's between me and you on the team or cross-functionally inside the company with our partners, with our customers, our shareholders, all the stakeholders. It's vital that we build trust. So that's key. Curiosity is critical for us, and we always have to be thinking, how can we do better, right? And we think about our purpose statement. What are we doing at Extreme? Okay, we advance how we connect by challenging complexity. So curiosity is like, how can we eliminate complexity and what we do every day in our solutions for customers in terms of the technology that we're creating with cloud, et cetera. How are we curious, and are we always thinking about how can we do this? How can we do this in a way that challenges complexity or a way that drives better outcomes for all of us? We think about there's the accountability and ownership, which is all of us are. We're all owners. We're all adults. We're all owners of the company. We have to be responsible for the outcomes. And then finally, we have teamwork. We're playing as a team. We have to embrace that, and then inclusion, and then we include everyone on the team. And then we have to, when you look at our definition of inclusion, it's the loud voices quieting down and listening more, And then it's about voices speaking up. And there's an obligation on both sides of that. And I have to say, I'm very, very, very proud of the teams and what we've accomplished in such a short period of time on the inclusion front. Think about the Women's Council. We stood up 3 years ago, and now our women population, we're up 30%. It's huge.
Yeah.
And then you think about different ERGs that we're setting up. And then what I'm most impressed with is the fact that people are just passionate about it, and it's bringing great energy, and it really is driving and building culture when you see all the events that are coming out and how everyone is engaging. It's just, it's creating, a lot more energy and I think more passion inside of the company and excitement. And it's allowing us to attract more talented people inside of Extreme, which is great.
Yeah. No, totally agree with that. So speaking of positive energy, so a year ago, it was almost a year ago that Wes came on board. And then right after that, Joe V came on board. But before Joe V came on board, you were the CRO for a little while.
Thank God we got Joe.
You learned a lot. And so if you were going to give some advice to our AEs in the field, just from what you learned, what would it be? High level.
Okay, my advice would be embrace our values.
Good.
I would go back to embrace the values. I would also say that what we've seen is there's a correlation between that our top performers are embracing all of the content that's being created from our enablement teams, and our enablement teams do a great job. But there's a wealth of information around Extreme as it relates to the portfolio and then selling, and our teams put together sales playbooks. Now we have this interactive platform, and it's really all you can eat. You think about what we're doing with Extreme Academy, but the bottom line is that there's a lot of resources that are out there, around our technology and the portfolio, et cetera. And what we're finding is that the teams that are embracing, like, what are the new features coming from cloud, and then really diving in and really understanding how that is affecting what's happening with the fabric and what's happening with XMC moving to the cloud. People who are diving in and engaging and who are curious, who want to learn, are top performers. And then we also know that people who are not engaged, they're our worst performers.
It's not working out. Yeah.
So that would be, from that standpoint, I don't think I'm qualified for me to go out to AEs and provide, advice, but I do know that I can provide, that insight as far as that correlation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So as we look out the horizon, Ed, this is my last question for you. As we look out for the next 12 months, we would never have thought all of this happened in the last 12 months.
Right.
As we look out, what do you hope for? What do you want for us?
What I hope is we are back in the office in our new way, and that we're able to get together, however we decide that we're going to do this. I think that employees of Extreme are going to be in a great place because they're going to have a more flexible work environment. And then they're also going to be able to engage the way I know we all want to engage. So from that standpoint, I also know there's a lot of innovation. There's going to be a huge number of firsts coming out in our fiscal fourth quarter, in the June quarter. And there's going to be a lot to be proud about. And we can be bold as a company. So I'm looking forward to everyone at Extreme being more emboldened and stepping out and really pounding the table on Extreme, because we have differentiated technology. All enterprise customers in the world should be looking at us, and then we have to go out and make that happen as a company. I know that's what I'm going to be working very hard on. So up-leveling Extreme and really to a point where everyone understands our brand and what we're about. And then that's what I think. On the 5G side, we have this new growth vector. That is really exciting. And I'm really proud of the engineering teams who have done such great work developing this technology over the past 2 years, really. And then what that's going to bring now as far as explosive growth to Extreme that we've never seen for the half life that I've been at Extreme for over 20 years.
Yeah. Well, lots of good stuff to come, Ed. Thank you so much for chatting with me. This was great, and happy work anniversary.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me, and you do a great job. Katy's Korner, you are prolific. And I encourage everyone to check out Katy's Korner because there are so many fun interviews and it's a way to get to know. I mean, you're
Yeah.
interviewing a lot of people, Katy. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's good news. Yeah, it's good. Thank you so much. We'll
All right.
talk
Thanks,
soon.
Katy.
Thanks, Ed.